All right, so what we're gonna do is the businessman tapered haircut for coarse hair or African American hair. And what I'm gonna do first is pick it out. All right. I'm detangling the hair at this point to pick it on out. To loosen the curliness and the tight curls up. Because I do want the hair to be able to move and flow as I start cutting it. All right, so I want to make sure that I detangle the hair as much as possible.
Do you want me to still fill out a form for
All right, so at this point, what I'm gonna do is take my shears. I picked the hair out at this point, got it out as much as possible, taking it away from the scalp. Again, trying to eliminate most of the curls to just spread it out a little more. All right. So at this point, what I wanna do is start eliminating any of this extra hair. All right. I want to take some of this out to start kind of sculpting the cut. All right, so me, myself, like I said, you can start anywhere. I preferably start, like I said, right in my middle part of the head. And all I'm doing is just kind of starting in one area, and then I'm going to work my way in such a 360 way around this head so that I know I've cut all the areas that need to be cut down first. What we'll call the pre-cut. And basically what I'm doing is cutting and shaping at the same time, starting to sculpt my client. And I am using the concave shears that have the bend into it, and this bend in these shears is really helping me being able to connect a roundness to this cut as I'm working it. Again, like I said, I want to work in such a way as 360. So I started right here in the crown of the head. I work my way around, and I'm going to end up back onto the right side of the head. That way I know I went through the whole head before I pick it out again. So all the long hairs that I'm cutting off now is going to help you prevent the detangling once you start to pick it out again. Try not to move the chair too much for camera purpose, not take us out the view. But if you know, in this back area, it's going to be tapered anyway, right? So being that it's going to be tapered in this back area, we can go ahead and just chop that off. It's nothing you got to focus on, trying not to cut too much or too less. You can just take this back area and you can pretty much just chop the back area on off because it's going to be tapered anyway. All right, so I've pretty much gotten my shape with the pre-cut. And again, after I get this right side here, I know I went 360 around the head. Now mind you, being at the state board, you are gonna be on the timer. So we got to make sure that we are working in sync to the point where we're not gonna go overtime. And normally the time, I know for North Carolina, the time is gonna be 30 minutes for the haircut. So if you're sitting using your clippers and you're trying to do this, it's gonna take you a lot longer because you're gonna be trying to concentrate too much on not cutting a lot of the hair off, which is gonna cut into your time. Use your shears. You already know what you can cut off and you can get right to it. All right, so at this point, that's my pre-cut, all right? And it's not tapered at this point. Now I just cut all the excess hair off just to get it down. Now I'm gonna pick it out one more time. Where's my shears? And it should be a little easier this time to pick out my client's hair. It's less detangled. And again, I'm still keeping in mind my length. I don't want it to be less than 3 inches. So you still got to keep your length involved in factor. See, before I would not have been able to pick my client's hair out this way, but because I already pre-cut it and detangled it, now I'm able to go and pick it out a little bit better without a lot of the detangles. And again, I know I am walking around my client, and I'm walking around the client for the purpose of, like I say, with the camera. I don't want to take the head out of the view of the camera. All right. So I have my client picked out pretty much to my liking. Right? And y'all remember I had cut a lot of this off the back because I told you we didn't need this anyway. I cut a lot of it off, but you can see how detangled it was because it's basically back out how it was. Again, this is what I need. Because this mannequin hair, it gets curly. But you can't see that right now because it's so much. But the shorter it gets, the curlier it's gonna get, right? But if you go too low, them curls are gonna look like patches. All right, so I think I got it picked out to my liking. So at this point, I'm gonna take my tool, and what I'm gonna use is my play. I'm gonna use the T-Pod play, and this tool do have the surgical blade, which would also be considered as what? Fade blade. All right. I suggest that you use a fade blade when you're sculpting, so that way you can basically cut the hair on contact. When you use a tapering blade, such as, and understanding the difference between the two. The tapering blade has the ridges on it. Fade blade, it has a smooth back on it. The tapering blade also is a little bit thicker. If you look at the diameter from the side, fade blade is thinner. All right, so this fade blade cuts and acts almost as a razor blade or a knife. All right, so it's gonna mold through the hair a lot easier.
So for that type of hair, how do you know, when should you start thinking about looking at the length of the hair? Like, where would you start once you start doing all that? Where would you
So
think
I already know I'm over 3 inches. right? Before I start cutting into my crown area, you need to check and make sure that you are not over, under 3 inches, right? So that can be your main area. When I start to sculpting, that's gonna be my main area that I'm gonna check from, right at the apex of the head, make sure that my 3 inches are there, and then I'm gonna cut everything else to form to it, all right? Some might start from the back or the sides. That's my preference, that's just me, all right? And again, the ruler that we'll use, we have the ruler, which is a clear ruler. 9 times out of 10, that's the ruler that the stator used. It's a clear ruler, so once you put it in the client's head, you can see it from the left or the right side on whatever the measurements is. All right, so if I go here at this point, just sticking my ruler in my hair, I'm already at 3 inches. I don't even have to pull the hair at this point because I'm already at 3 inches. So if I go and pull this hair, I stretch it out to 5, 6 inches. So I know I have a lot of room to work with. I'm in the safe zone. Now, again, for less experienced barbers, if you have to keep right on checking, and you can also use your all-purpose comb. If you want to continue to check as you're going, use your all-purpose comb just to keep yourself safe and just to keep that pressure off of yourself. Because if you start thinking that you've cut it too low, you start going through a lot of different emotions as you're doing this. You got to think, it's your state exam. This is what's going to determine if you're getting ready to be a professional or on your way to a professional or not. So it's going to matter a lot, and you're going to have a lot of different emotions going on. But if you know that you are above your 3 inches, you'll feel a lot better with going throughout that haircut. All right? So at this point, what I'm going to do is tilt my client's head down a little bit. And I'm going to start working from my back area first. Below the occipital, right at the bottom of the nape line. This is the area that I'm going to start working on first. All right? So as I go here, my tool is going to be held at a 45-degree angle. So when I go in, I'm going to hold my tool at this 45-degree angle, and I'm going to stroke my way up and out. It's not going to be straight up. And now when I go up and out, I'm going to do that from my right side, from the back side, my right side, and my left side. And then I'm going to connect everything else together. All right? So would it be easier for y'all to see it from the right, left, and then the back, or just keep doing how I'm doing and see how it's coming together? All right, so I'm going to go from the back. And again, we still can't forget the rule that we always need to have a comb in our hand when you're at the skateboard. When your clippers are on, you always should have a comb in your hand. All right? Even though I'm not using this comb to be combing the hair, it's still, my other hand is occupied. All right? So as I come in with my tool at a 45-degree angle, I make my first stroke, up and out. Starting at the bottom of the neck, and I'm working my way up and out. It's almost, again, like how you would cut grass. When you cut grass, in order to get the grass even, you have to overlap every time that you make a stroke on that grass. You have to overlap in order to make sure that you got the same consistency. And that's the same technique that I'm using here. Now, mind you, this mannequin is what we call a braiding mannequin. So you have to be super careful with not going too low. Because if you cut the hair too low, it's going to definitely start being a lot of patches. Y'all do not feel like you cannot use both hands. If you need to use both hands, it's okay. You don't have to be out there trying to show off and act like a show enough pro, cutting everything with one hand, but your stabilization is off. So if you need to be stabilized by using two hands, that's all right. All right? Now, like I told y'all, I'm working with my back first, tapering my back area first. Can you see how it's tapered as far as here? Well, let me cut off a little bit more on these sides here. Like I said, I'm going to work my back first, then my sides, then I'm going to tie it all together. All right, so as I turn now, you can see the angle that I was working with, right? You see the angle that I'm talking about, that 45-degree angle up and off of the head. This is, I think, where you went wrong, where you went too high on it above the occipital, and it made it look real patchy down below. So again, 45-degree angle coming up and off of the head. That's going to give you your tapered effect. You see your tapered effect right there. All right? So I can bring my client up a little more. Now, that's the back part. So now I'm going to work my way to my left side, and then I'm going to go to my right side. And all I'm doing the same thing. 45-degree angle, working my way up and out, so that way I can leave my length and my top to sculpt it down to what I need it to be. All right? So now I'm getting ready to work my way onto my side. I'll kind of lift my client head up, straighten my client up. This is going to be another key factor, making sure you need to move that client's head or the mannequin head just like it's a client. Because if you don't, it's going to put you in awkward positions. All right? If I would have tried to cut the hair the way I had him just then, it would have been awkward, me trying to bend to cut. But when I straighten it up, it helps me see where my tapered area is and where I need to tie in my tapered side from the left side to the back. All right? So I'm going to do the same thing again. 45-degree angle, going in with the tip of the teeth of the blade, and now I'm healing out. My stroke is coming out and up. And again, I am being mindful of the texture of this hair, and I do not want to cut too much, because if I cut too much, again, it's going to look like I have a lot of patches in the client's head or the mannequin head itself. All right, now being that I already had my back tapered, it made it super easy for me to taper my sides and connect my sides to the back. So if you look at it now, you can still see the angle that I have here. This angle, that 45-degree angle, you can see the angle. Sides and the back connected together now. You see what I'm talking about? Sides is looking just like the back. All right? Sides are looking like the back. Now, since I'm already on this side, I'm going to come right to the middle of the front of the head just to go ahead and start cleaning up the front area. Now, mind you, when you go to the state board, you do not have to do a design line on your client. So also remember that. You do not have to do a design line. And again, still keeping my 45-degree angle. So in a sense, after I'm finished doing this part, around the sides, it's going to basically look like a cone. It's going to look just like a cone. You're going to have this here, and then you're going to have that roundness at the top. It's going to be forming a cone. The only way we can form that cone is keeping your tool turned at that 45-degree angle. Any other angle is not going to give you a tapered effect. All right? Again, up and off. Now, mind you, we're just getting down to the tapered effect. And then after we get our effect down, the tapered effect and the length, then we can go and start doing our detail. All right, you start doing the detail work. So I stop right in the middle of the front side. Same thing I did on the left side, I'm gonna do on the right side. All right? Now, looking from that camera view, and if you're looking at this white background, you should see a clean silhouette of a angle here. If you're looking off at that back, all right, at the white background. So the same thing I did over there, I'm gonna do over here. I already have my angle, so I need to adjust my client's head over. So ergonomically, I can be correct. And now I'm gonna tie my back side in to my right side. Using what angle?
45.
45. Same thing I did on the right side, on the left side, I'm gonna do on this right side. Same exact thing. Now all this little extra hair, we can kind of get this out of the way because there's still a lot of hair. But now I'm gonna go back to my 45-degree angle. Being cautious that I'm not cutting my hair too low. Again, we're still in the sculpting thing right now. That's where we're at, in the sculpting thing. And how low do it need to be on top? Or what's the less?
3.
On the sides
2.
and below the occipital.
1.
1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. That's your focal point. 3, 2, 1. So at this point, I kind of feel like this angle is coming into play. Again, I'm not looking at it from you guys' point of view, but I am. So I want to turn my client forward, adjust my client's head straight. She's kind of tough. All right, so I'm gonna step around. And what I see is what I'm expecting to see. That cone I was talking about, the angles. Now, am I trying to make everything look so perfect now? No, I'm not. We're just trying to get to the shape. So at this point, what I see is that funnel look. You got my funnel look, and you got the cone at the top. So now what I'm gonna do is connect everything we did from the front, sides, and back. We can tie it all together now. All right? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tie it all together. I think when I talked to you, Mr. Gilbert, how you were saying you was going, you started cutting it down, but you didn't understand your order and when it was time to start cutting it down. All right? So, being that I've got my angles together, front, left, back, front, side, what I like to do is start right from my back at the occipital area. And I start right in the middle. Do y'all remember what I said that would be that first cut? What we call it? What was it? I heard somebody say it. Landing strip. We're gonna make it our landing strip. All right, so I'm gonna come from the occipital area, and I'm gonna come straight through the middle to create my landing strip. When I make my landing strip, I'm gonna check my length. Make sure that I'm at 3, right? When I check that length to make sure that I'm at 3, then I could go ahead and bring everything else together. And I'm gonna keep it at that 3, because you already know everything below it can be lower, but it don't need to be lower than what?
3,
2. So everything below this 3 can be lower here, on down to here. It can be lower, just don't need to be in the temporal area, parietal ridge area, don't need to be lower than a 2. Then down low is where you can come in with your 1. All right, so I'm gonna go in. My first stroke again, I'm gonna come right at the occipital where I done beveled out 45. I'm gonna come right at the occipital and I'm gonna pick up here and I'm gonna make my landing strip. Come straight through and through to the front. Remove all the hair that I just cut out of the way. Again, that's another benefit of having a tool that's super sharp. It's just cutting his hair on contact. You don't have to be doing a whole lot of stroking back and forth over and over. All right, so I'm gonna step around just to look at the silhouette again. I can see my landing strip. All right, I see my landing strip here. Now what we're gonna do is envision that light bulb. This one we start envisioning the light bulb effect right here. I see it. I don't know if you see it, but I see a clear as day. I see a light bulb. But this right here, this area here is your landing strip. So I connect it from the occipital up and through to the front to make my first guideline, which is the landing strip, to connect my left and right side of this haircut. All right? So again, I made that stroke. I'm gonna just clean up the little excess hair that was in the way, and I said I was gonna do what after I made that landing strip?
Connect.
Measure. And I'm gonna use this one because my glasses ain't, I can't see with the other one. No, I'll use the comb. So I'm gonna use my comb, and I see my 3 inches on my comb is right here where my thumb is. That's where my 3 inches on my comb. So when I put this on the apex of my client's head, and the apex is what? What area of the head is the apex?
The highest point.
The highest point of a person's head. So now that I put it here at the apex, I see still I'm over my 3 inches. So I'm still in a good place, right? So now that I've made my landing strip, now it's all about connecting the dots. So I'm gonna start from the landing strip and I'm gonna work my way over here to the left, then I'm gonna connect the right. This is again the easy part where you tie it all together. You're connecting your dots. Connecting your dots. Connecting the dots. You see the shape coming together now?
Yes, sir.
All right? You're starting to get our light bulb effect. Right? You see the sides starting to come together. Again, am I trying to make this perfect right now? I'm not gonna try to make it perfect at all, not even during the exam. I'm not gonna try to make it perfect. I just wanna make it good. That's it. Not gonna try to make it perfect. So now, I'm gonna come around for my purpose and going from the spectator's view, I'm gonna come out and look at it, okay? And I can see where my silhouette is going. And I see where I need to go and tie in this little bit right here. Take that little point off. So now, I go back to my round area to round my sides off a little more. All right, I'm gonna check it again. That's where I need to be. All right, so now that I got my left side done, transition right on to the right side. Do the exact same thing that I did from this side and transition it over here. Starting back from the occipital area. Working to the right of my landing strip now. And it depends on how you cut or how comfortable you are with making your adjustments. So I'm gonna come from my standstill on my left side so I can see what I'm doing. Now I'm connecting the dots, connecting the dots. Connecting the dots. Okay, so again, after I made this cut on my right side, what I want to do now, what do I want to do that I did on the left side? Step back. Step back is my spectator look. Seems like it's coming together for me now. What I have done to the right, I have done on the left. The same exact thing. All right? Now again, am I looking for perfect? No. I'm not. I'm looking for that light bulb effect to start coming into place. I see it coming together. Now, for this last time, what am I going to do?
Measure.
Not measure it. Pick.
Yeah.
For my last time. So what we did was, we pick, we trim, pick again, finalize. Right? So this part here, after I pick, is going to be finalizing my cut. To leave it up to the state now to judge it and do whatever they need to do. Because the first thing they're going to do is turn it upside down. Right? But it's not a reason for them to turn it upside down when it looks like a light bulb standing up. Right? So again, that's going to save some time. The better off they can see that it's tapered, the easier it is on you. All right? So again, now, I just go and pick it out. Sometimes you would hate to do this in the barbershop. You done spend all this time. That's why you should charge much more when you're doing afros and flat tops and stuff like that, because it takes you more time to get everything precise. It's like you're doing 2 or 3 haircuts in that one cut just to get everything precise. So some barbers, they'll cut it, pick it out and cut it that one time, but when the person get home, pick it out,
And that's all.
all the way off, right? So again, now it's super easy. I have no resistance picking it out at this point. The detangling phase is good. It's all detangled. It's already tapered. No matter how out of place it is, it's still tapered, right? No matter how out of place it looks, it's still a tapered effect. So I go 360 and tapering it all out. I mean, picking it out, I'm sorry. Just stabbed it in the eye. Now mind you, we was over 3 inches in the middle already, but now that 3 inches, look how it just came back up even more. So I'm in a safe zone, I'm good. I'm comfortable with going forward because I know it's not less than 3 inches. All right, so here we go, picking it out for the final pick. And you notice I didn't have to do a lot of pulling at the hair now. And I still have that length where I don't have to worry so much as seeing a lot of the scalp from my client or from this mannequin because of how the hair is. And I think when you was doing your mannequin, if you would have did several picks first, it would have saved that area down low. When you went low, it started looking like patches. But with picking it out, it helps you not go too close, right? All right, so I got it picked out. And I told y'all when you get to this point, there was a couple different things that you can do. And I'm going to show you one. At this point, we could use a holding spray, right? Just use a holding spray, just light spray on it. Because now, being that this is going to be my final cut, I want it to kind of stay in place. I want it to stay where it needs to stay at. And I'm going to do everything that I did before. Back. Everything I did at the beginning with sculpting, I'm going to do it all over.
Is that necessary at the state board to have gone back in and done it again, other than just making it better?
It is, just to clean it up, Like I said, don't have to be perfect. You just show them that you know what you're doing. And again, instead of just going straight to my shears, my clippers, I could have went back with the shears. Just kind of pretty much trimmed it together. So again, I start with my back. Doing the same thing. Bringing it around to my sides.
Could you do this whole cut with your shears?
Yeah, you can do the whole cut with shears. Not saying your forearms won't be tired at the end, but it can be done with shears.
Yeah, I'll ask him could you. Well, I know you
Yeah, your forearms gonna be like you done did a million curls, but it can be done. All right, so all I'm doing is again, is just tying it all together. Tying it all together at this point. Again, what look am I looking for? Light bulb effect. All right. Sides. Come back to this side. Connect it. As I'm turning my head, I'm still using the floor to see my silhouette. Tying it all together. Back, where I made my landing strip from the occipital, coming on up, just trimming. Going with light trims now, because I don't want to cut too much off. I'm where I need to be at. Where I need to be. I can even feel the holding spray. I was kind of holding the hair in place. It's just making it that much easier to hold the hair in place for you. What is it looking like from that angle, Mr. Franklin? Light bulb effect? Again, if we was at a shop or during this stage, then I would be able to be using my mirror. But because I don't have the mirror, that's why, again, it eliminates that 3 feet away. And I have to go straight from barber view, straight to spectator's view. You'll notice how I keep resetting my cut or resetting that stroke. Every time I make a stroke, I come back where I started, instead of doing this, jumping all around. I want to keep it more uniform. So I keep resetting my stroke.
Keep teaching.
All right, Mr. Palmville, enjoy your weekend, man. All right, so at this point, what I'm going to do is, again, go back to my spectator view. I need to see exactly what I'm looking at. All right, now, state board purpose, I'll be good. We can walk away from right. We can put the comb down and walk away from at this point right now. What I want to do is just finalize my sculpting. That's it. I'm gonna finalize my sculpting. Just want to finalize my sculpting. You notice as I'm sculpting, I'm turning my chair, my client, trying to keep my tool in one place. So I'm not bouncing all over the client's head. So at this point, again, if I was to even just put my shears down, put the comb down, and walk away, steak gonna pass us. Because what effect do we have?
Light bulb.
We got our light bulb effect. You see, as I'm turning my chair, I'm keeping my tool in one place. So that way, any hair that's in there, it's gonna get it. Any hair in that line of me turning this chair, we got. What I'm gonna do is just on the neckline area, just kind of taper that bottom off. Now mind you, it do not need to be more than 2 inches. 2 fingers, if you look from the bottom of the nape area and you place 2 fingers there, that's as high as your taper need to be. 2 fingers. From the bottom of the nape, 2 fingers up. That's as high any taper really needs to be. When you start going 3 fingers, 4 fingers, now you're going into them fades and you're going up into the occipital area. 2 fingers, bottom of the nape line, or equivalent to the bottom of the earlobe. That's what it's gonna be. Anything higher than that is too much. Or I could say it'll be too short. Now, do I have to do all of this at the state board as far as the detail work? No, I don't. But with this, if you have 5-10 minutes left after the cut, you can go in and detail. Or, if you like me, I'm one of the type of people leave well enough alone. Mr. Gilbert, Mr. Bush, from y'all side, what does the silhouette look from the bottom of the nape up to the occipital? What does that look like to y'all? Is it consistent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm asking because, again, like I said, I don't have the mirror to sit and look at it and see it, but I kind of know it's there by the techniques that I use. I kind of know it's there, but like I said, I still can't see it.
And the variance in there is not of you, it's the mannequin itself. That's,
Those little,
Yeah, that
remember
little
we was
hump
talking
right
about the
yeah.
going too
The
close?
subline.
That's why we need to stay low as possible when it comes to that taper line, because that stitch line on that mannequin, it'll start throwing you off and you'll keep right on cutting it, and it's not gonna go nowhere. So Mr. Diaz, from where you at looking at the silhouette off the depth, what do you see?
I see the light bulb effect.
Light bulb effect?
Yeah.
Now, is it perfect? No, because I can see this side is off a little bit, but that's all right. It's state board. Don't worry about that, man. It ain't but Dollar Tree. All right, so state board is good enough. It's good enough for the state board. It's good enough for the state board. But for me, y'all know I got issues. I got issues, y'all. I'm sorry.
I don't even see it.
That little part right here. Okay, so then I gotta do the same thing over here.
right side of here. Get
Mhm.
adjusted a little bit.
Left side need to be adjusted just a tad, right at the top of the ear. Right here. Yeah, yeah. Now mind you, we already passed the skateboard test. This here is just my little anal mess. What we looking like? You good?
Still a little bit more.
On this side?
Yeah.
Look good to me.
I know what he's looking at is right up in here.
Yeah, it is.
Alright, so being that I did that, I can just be easy with it and just hit a little head.
Yeah, no.
Good?
Yeah.
Ooh. Alright. And guess what? I don't have to worry if I'm less than 3 inches on top, 2 inches on the side, and 1 inch on the back. I know we're legit. Alright? So y'all, that's y'all cut.
All right.
That's your cut.
Can you give it the edge on?
Yeah. Don't have